Hello, it's Chris from My Stamp Lady, and I'm here with this stamp set called Lasting Lily. Lasting Lily is a special stamp set right now that you can find in our sale-a-bration catalog, which is the best sale of the year for Stampin' Up, and it's right here on the last page. And it's a product that you can earn for free when you make a purchase through March 31st. And if you notice at the bottom here, it says free with a $100 purchase. So this is at the $100 level. There are also stamps at the $50 level. I will have a link to this brochure, and if you don't have a demonstrator or would like to get one of these in the mail, be sure to click on my Send Me a Catalog link. So this is from the Lasting Lily, and this is the stamps that I'm going to be featuring today. I'm going to show you two cards. I'm going to show you a simple card and then a stepped up card with the same set. This is a photopolymer stamp set, meaning that it is clear, you can see through it, but it is also one of the exclusive Stampin' Up! Distinctive stamps, meaning that you can see all the texture in these images. So there can be some challenges to get that texture, so this is what I'm talking about. If you can see right in there, how you can see the stamen in the middle and the texture there and on the leaves, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So this first card is with crushed curry. I have all the supplies in my online store, and I also have all the card sizes on the blog post. And if you look in the description below, you can find a link to that blog post. So the first card I'm going to do is this simple card. I'm starting with the main lily, the largest one for placement. One thing that people have found is that if you use this stamp set with a too juicy ink pad, you will not get the image that you want. So you need to be able to take a lesser inked stamp pad. So this is, if you can see that, this is with the crushed curry. You can see that detail in there. I have also found that with most photopolymer stamp sets, I use the Stampin' Pierce pad underneath. I have found that if I have a harder surface, I actually like the results better. So what I'd recommend for you is to try it out and see which one you like best. Oops, I'm throwing that. So if your ink pad is too juicy, I use this bone folder when I re-ink to spread my ink pads. You can just literally take the edge of the bone folder and press that ink. You want to give it some force, and I'm pushing that ink to the side so that I have space to work with that is not quite as juicy. So that seems to be the big issue, is that ink pads are too juicy. Okay, so now I'm going to put down my other flower here. Giving that a good press. I have also found that the deeper colors work better. I was trying this card in So Saffron, and I just was not getting the results that I liked. So I switched it to the crushed curry, much better. I was so much happier with the results for this. Now this lines up perfectly with the base here. So I've just lined that up, and you can see how it goes right on the flower. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's a lot easier for me to line these images up when I'm not on camera, so they might be a little bit off today because I like to put my head right overhead when I am lining up my images. Okay, so now I have this leaf, and it's got a curve in it, and it's designed to work with the two flowers. And then you can turn it over and use the pointed part down here to add another just part of the leaf. So there is that very simple but elegant and beautiful stamped lily. This set does have a lot of wonderful sentiments. Most of them work with, let me see, our thoughts are with you, with sympathy for moments that you can't put into words, and about caring and supporting. But you could, of course, use this for whatever you would like. So now I'm inking up this sentiment in the tuxedo black, and I'm just going to put a black sentiment in black just off to the left. And you can see that this is a very simple card. Not adding a lot to it. It is flat, and it is one layer. Okay, so to finish this up, I'm going to use my snail adhesive, place this onto a slightly larger cardstock mat, crushed curry. And again, if you go to my blog post, you can see all of my all of the card sizes, the paper sizes that I've used here. Let's burnish that a little bit, give it a nice rub. And let's put that down. And now I have half a sheet of the thick Whisper White that I've cut in half, folded and scored at, let's see, this would be 4 1/4 inches for my card base. And that's it. This is going to be my very simple card right here. I like to flip it over when I burnish it, just so I don't, if I have any ink on my finger, or if there's, you know, a fingerprint of some kind, I will be less likely to get it on the card front. Nice, beautiful, simple sympathy card that you can send off. So now here's the little sneak peek part plus the stepped up card. So let me pull in my stepped up card. You can see that here. And I'm getting my supplies. And one thing that's wonderful that Stampin' Up! Is doing starting March 1st is they are going to come out with exclusive products that coordinate with the Stampin' Up! Products that the sale-a-bration products rather, that you can earn, and they work together. But they will be for sale for the month of March. As a demonstrator, I've been able to pre-order those, and so I have my Lily Framelits. They coordinate with this stamp set, and you're going to see how I use that to create this card. And it's a stepped up version, and the directions are a bit longer. Okay, so this time I have a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock that I've cut in half, scored at 4 1/4, and I can just set that aside for the moment because I don't need it. I'm going to start with that beautiful background before I go into the lilies here. So to do that background, I have taken a piece of Whisper White cardstock. I have spritzed it. Spritzing is one of my favorite ways to add light color to my surface. I'm going to just pull in a piece of paper here. So in my Stampin' Spritzer, I have I just labeled it on there so I know which color it is, but there are ink refills and rubbing alcohol. And the reason I do the rubbing alcohol is because it dries more quickly than does my water. Okay, so that's done. So I've spritzed that, and then I'm going to take the Distinctive Subtles folder. This is one of my favorite folders because it gives us such a nice subtle, almost like a linen paper look. And we're going to place this right down on top of there. And because this is a distinctive or a thick folder, oops, it's wrong, I don't need that one. I need the Big Shot platform, so let me grab that. This is the Big Shot platform, and I do not have the thin die adapter on there. This is the Subtles folder and one acrylic plate, and that's all you need because it's the thick folder. I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. And you wind up with this gorgeous paper. Now it is a little bit blotchy because it's still drying, so I'm going to set it aside and then we'll work with it again once it has dried, and it'll even out and you'll see that. Okay, so now while that is drying, I am going to pull in some Whisper White. I'm going to do something a little different with my lily stamps now. I'm going to first of all wash them off. So what I've done is, you can see here, I've taken one of our Stampin' chamois, and I've cut it into 3 pieces. I like a little larger one and then 2 half size. My chamois, I accidentally left it closed and it got a little stinky. So I did bleach it and it works just fine, but the color is just a little bit off. So I have washed these off because I am going to use my Stamparatus to do those lily images. So on this paper, and I'm going to die cut them with that coordinating die. So the first one though, I'm taking it off the block, is let's do the larger lily. And I'm gonna close that down. Now I'm gonna show you a little bit about my Stamparatus. If you haven't seen this, it's a wonderful stamp positioning tool. And I'm not gonna go into a lot of the details about it, but I will do another video about this soon. So underneath my, I'm going to just show you my setup here. Like I have found with these, I like a little firmer surface with the Lasting Lily images, with those distinctive images. So because it is a photopolymer though, I need the little sponge foam mat that lifts it up. And then I've just taken a piece of chipboard and put that in there, and that gives me a firmer surface. If I always have the chipboard in there, but if I didn't need to worry about the distinctive, I would have put it underneath. But because I want a firm surface, I'm going to put that right on top. And then this is just scrap paper, my cardstock, and then the magnets that I've wrapped in masking tape. There we go. Okay, so let's ink this up first of all in crushed curry. Just gonna ink that up and then flip it over and press that down. One of the benefits of the Stampin' Up, but it turned out wonderful. But if it doesn't turn out, you can re-ink it and get it in the same spot. But what I am going to do is I'm pulling in Calypso Coral. This is a little stepped up version of this. Inking up my sponge dauber, and I have cleaned off that stamp, and I'm just going to add a bit of the Calypso Coral ink just to the center of that stamp, and then pick that back up. And now look at that gorgeous, gorgeous color that I have. Now I could have just sponged over it, but I like doing it on the stamp because if I do it on the stamp, it goes into the right spots and it doesn't muddy it all up. But that is just beautiful. So I've got that one. Now before I move over to my die cutting machine, I'm gonna take my little plate here, flip it around. So now that larger lily is on the back side. I've moved my paper, and now I'm going to do the same thing with my smaller lily. So let's do it first of all with crushed curry. I have found that the deeper colors work better with the distinctive, this one in particular anyway. So like Highland Heather, Calypso Coral, Grapefruit Grove, I've had really good luck with getting that beautiful distinctive look. Okay, let's clean that off. And now let's take some more of that Calypso Coral. We're going to just add that to part of the stamp. I'm not inking up the entire stamp with that sponge dauber, down and up. And now I can actually set this aside, and you can see, let me move I'm just going to move that Stampin' Up out of the way because I'm not going to use it again. I have a beautiful two-colored. Okay, so I have a magnetic platform. I have one acrylic plate on there, and then I have my two flowers. And you may have noticed when I pulled this out before, for some reason I have found that I'm getting a little bit of movement with these dies. So I've just taken a little piece of washi tape, taped it down to hold that in place. I've gone ahead and stamped my leaves also, so I can run these through at the same time. I'm just going to position those dies in the correct spot. Okay, so I have all of my stamped and die cut pieces, and I have my dried piece that I've spritzed and embossed. I can take this piece, and this is a piece of the lovely Grapefruit Grove and Lovely Lipstick Foil, the Grapefruit Grove piece. That's not easy for me to say, apparently. That actually is also one of the sale-a-bration items, but it is also selling out pretty quick, and they say that it's not going to last till the end of celebration. So if you plan to order Grapefruit Grove as one of your free choices, you will want to order that sooner than later. Let me just straighten that out just a little bit. There we go. And I can just put that down on there. Now, before I put down my leaves, I'm going to show you a little trick that I have done with these. So if I put my stem, I'm calling them leaves, but there are some of our stems. Okay, so you have the option. You can put it like this and just cover that up. And if you put it like that, you have all of that white showing. Here's how I get around that. I'm going to pull in my old olive, and I am going to put down, and I am just going to stamp right on that on top. And let's see, the other flower, we'll do that with the coordinating stamp. So I'm stamping right on top of that die cut flower. And then once I've done that, let me see, I need some dimensionals. I'm going to pull in a dimensional, pull the coordinating stem, and then just line it up, and look at that. So now it looks like I have that stem stamped on the top, even though it's kind of a optical illusion there. And then we'll do the same thing with this one. Just line it up where that stamping ends, and voila. I have a beautiful stamped stem that comes up into that flower. Okay, so now we can put down our pieces. This card is very similar to a card that I did with a class recently, and I've loved the look of it, and so I thought, well, we'll change it up a little bit, but go very similar. Okay, for this one, I have a really small piece of white, and I am going to use my black to stamp my sentiment. Our thoughts are with you. And so we'll just put that down in on that small piece there. Love the photopolymer for this. That seeing through is so easy. Put some adhesive on the back of there, and we'll just mount that right like that. And you can see how this card is stepped up card is coming together. So just remember, those coordinating framelits are not available till March 1st. So this is a sneak peek, and I will have more information about those on my blog. So now I'm taking a little length of the old olive linen thread. You can find this in the Occasions catalog right now. I am tying just a bow, just doing 2 bows, or just a standalone bow. And then we'll take a mini glue dot. And wow, I'm right at the end here. Okay, so then I'm just going to kind of take that mini glue dot, roll it up, make it nice and small, and put it on the back side of my knot and stick this down right there. Nice little addition, but not overpowering. And now I have a stepped up lily card. So I hope you've enjoyed these cards a lot today. I'm going to pull in that simple one I did. And you can see the 2 options that we have for this. Again, all of these products are available in my online store, shopwithmystamplady.com. I have the link to the blog post below, and I also have all of my supplies listed in the description below. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, Chris, at mystamplady.com, and I hope you enjoy these Lasting Lily cards. Thanks for watching.